All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to a very special episode of Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Live here on the main channel, Coach Eli, Elias, Melas. And wow. I'm just going to start off by saying wow, 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 wow. And if you've been a part of my community for at least a little while, for at least the last 3 to 6 months, you've probably seen some things unlike anything you've seen before. If you've been a part of my community for 5 to 6 years, like many people have, you know the backstory. Yeah, it's just one big wow. I've got a lot to talk about here tonight, but before we get to all of that, first of all, let me make sure that everything is rolling smoothly. Let me check out the back end of YouTube. And it looks like it's rolling well. Let me also make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out. And it looks like it has. And let me do a sound check. Hey, Popeye, how are you doing? Sound check. And, wow. I'm just going to start off by saying wow, 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 wow. Yeah, wow, 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 Coach Eli. Lots of wows. Just to remind you folks, there is a 1-minute delay between what I say and what goes out here during the in-studio streams, so please be patient and bear with me. If you ask a valid, legitimate question, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you're trolling, you'll be squashed immediately. We might, call you out because you deserve to be called out. Many of you deserve to be called out. And then we're going to let you go and just move on. So if you're thinking about trolling, I can't stop you. I mean, it's a free country, but I also have the right to remove you, and I will remove you. Okay? First things first. I tried to do a live stream earlier. Earlier. It's still before midnight here on the West Coast. Earlier this evening, I tried to do a live stream from a walk on my other channel, Coach Eli, 2 authentic live streams, and the audio wasn't going through my headset. So I killed the stream after trying to fix it on the fly. I've normally been able to do that. I wasn't able to do that this time. And when I went to my car, I ended up restarting my iPhone, and then it worked. So sometimes if you're having audio issues or any issues with your smartphones, you got to restart them because they're like a computer. So that was the problem. I needed to restart my iPhone because it was detecting a headset being plugged in, but it wasn't transmitting the audio through the headset, through the adapter that I use on my iPhone to plug in a headset and to plug in an external battery at the same time to charge and keep the internal battery full while I'm walking so I don't run out of battery, don't run out of juice. So anyway, yeah, I mean, if you're going to come in here and troll on accounts with my city, Redwood City, you're going to get removed. It's probably Coach J. I don't know. Maybe it's Coach J. It's some troll. It's just ridiculous. And yeah, if you're wondering, yeah, we're gonna share some thoughts about Coach J here tonight. I know many of you don't want to talk about Coach J, or you kind of made peace with him, or you want to let things slide, but Coach J has really tremendously affected my ability to create out here. He's been at the forefront of many attacks, not only online, but taken into real life, and it does need to be addressed. And I will address it here tonight. I will do it as respectfully as possible. I'm also not going to expect any other people that I feel Coach J has wronged to step in and say something. I think you should, but that's completely up to you. We're all grown adults, and we can respond in any ways that we feel work for us, right? At the same time, though, I mean, if you just let someone keep getting away with the BS that they're doing, they're going to feel entitled to it, and they're going to keep doing it. They're going to harm someone else. So someone has to stand up for the people, and it's going to be me, okay? Now we got 14 people here. I did check to see if there's a simulcast before I went live, but these people, they don't start their simulcast until I go live because they don't want me to know about it, and that's cool. We'll address that too. We're going to address everything here tonight because what this case has done, this case that was just settled earlier today, or by the time most people watch this, it'll be yesterday. What this case has done, at least throughout this Dramasphere group that's been involved in it, okay, in some way, shape, or form, whether they're a party to it, or whether they're a channel that's created content on it, or people that have supported myself or supported Tammy, or people that are there to troll, however you've been involved, this case has actually set precedents for the future. And this is something that in the future, I do hope to have a conversation with you regarding this, Tammy. We can do a panel. We can do a live stream if you're up to it. I know you mentioned that you've got a lot going on. You're trying to get some new teaching credentials, and I wish you the best of luck on that. Not expecting anything. I'm not expecting anything from you, but the door is open to whatever collaborative opportunities are available down the road. Maybe once this is all said and done, you may just want to go your way. I would understand that. I'm open to whatever, and I'll share more about that in a little bit. Okay. But first, I want to talk about the settlement. Because Tammy did a stream on Rumble earlier today, or let's just say yesterday, because it's midnight, most other places in the world right now. And by the time most people watch this on the replay, it'll be the next day. But yesterday, Tammy did a live stream shortly after the court case, and she explained to everyone what the settlement was. And a lot of people that support me were watching that. A lot of people that support me emailed me very disappointed with my decision. They were wondering, why I settled in a way where I owe money. I'm going to explain that. There's a reason for that. And it's up to you if you want to understand it. I hope you do, because if you don't and you're ever in a situation like this and you don't do something similar as what myself and Tammy did, it could cost you a lot more money. Okay, we'll explain that in just a little bit. But I think most people that understand how expensive court cases are, and if you have to get attorneys involved, it gets more expensive, even more expensive than any monetary payout you would win if you did win, right? People don't understand that, right? They don't understand that. Hello, Grotesque Subhuman 3. Are you ODN? It's okay if you are. It's not a big deal. I don't think you're banned here if that's you ODN on your main channel. I don't think you're banned here. Coach J is massively trolling. He's God. No one else has the vested interest to troll me as much as Coach J does. Anyway, it's all good, dude. That's fine. I'll go and unblock you. Do me a favor, Grotesque Subhuman 3. Send me an email to Coach Eli at coacheli@melas.com with your channel link. And I will unban you tomorrow on Coach Eli too. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm on the main channel and I want to focus on the show. So, Tammy talked about the settlement, and I know she mentioned pretty much everything that was on the settlement. She was tired. I don't blame you for being tired, Tammy. I'm tired too. She did a short show. This show here is probably going to be at least an hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. I hope to get it done in an hour and a half or so, but I just have a feeling it's going to take a while to get through it because there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of detail to go through every part of the settlement that Tammy mentioned. I'm sure she may go through that down the road. I think you said, Tammy, this is the last time you're talking about it. If you have to talk about it again, no problem. But I understand that you just really want to move on from it. And so do I. But I want to clarify some things so people understand why we did this. And this was a genuine settlement, even though most people on my end think that, you took advantage of me. Some people on your end think that you won. I think you said on your stream that you consider this a win. I think what you meant, it's a win for everyone, including me. That's how I interpret it. If you see it as a win for yourself, no problem, no worries. I take no offense to that. But I don't think that's how you meant to put it out. I think when you were saying it's a win for everyone, it's a win-win. And it truly is a win-win. It is a win-win. But I don't even look at it as a win. I look at it as a resolution to a conflict that probably should have never gotten to this level. But it did. And we ended up handling it in a way that prevented it from further, getting out of hand. And it was getting way out of hand beyond the actual case. Like you mentioned, Tammy, the amount of content people have been making on this and using us as locale entertainment content to, an audience of people that love cringy drama content and donate to these creators that create it. See, now, Tammy, I firmly believe that you're beginning to see what I've been going through over the last 5-6 years, right? By the same group of people, right? And you're tired of it. You're like, I don't want to be used, or this case be used for locale content and people making money at my expense and this and that. I get that, right? Now, before I continue to go through the settlement agreement and my thoughts about it and what it actually means, okay? I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say something else and it slipped my mind. Well, it'll come back. Let's just get through the agreement here, okay? To be honest, it's pretty ridiculous what they put you through. Oh, it is. But believe it or not, they put Tammy through the same thing. Now I remember what I was going to say, okay? A lot of people don't realize, Tammy, that you're a victim in this as well. Maybe you don't want to see yourself as a victim. I feel you're a victim, regarding this. And that is one of the main reasons why I wanted to settle. Because after, what happened with Coach Jay, who was helping Tammy very closely, he left her high and dry. I was like, okay, now I really see what's going on here. And again, Tammy, I don't expect you to ever talk negatively about Coach Jay. I don't even want to talk negatively about him. I'm just here to state the facts. I'm here to state what happened. And believe it or not, I'm here to actually stand up for you regarding things about Coach Jay that I'm sure happened, but you don't want to talk about it, and I can respect that. But if I want to talk about it and share my opinion and have your back on it to further explain to the people out there why the settlement happened and where it came from within my head and heart, then I'm going to do it. Because it makes sense to do so, right? So there has to be a reason why I decided to settle, after everything that I was put through. No disrespect to you, Tammy, but you did put me through a lot. And I'm not going to mention all those things again here tonight because, we've settled it. We are at peace. I really like how it's going. But I have to give some context so people understand why I did what I did. People are questioning why I did what I did. So I have to, and I want to justify it. Okay, I want to. GLM said that you are going to help Tammy get her channel back, but that it will affect your channel. Is that true? No, it won't affect my channel at all. GLM said that your channel will be taken down. No. No, it won't. It won't be taken down. It won't be taken down because we're both running two legal entities. And my channel's been in existence longer than hers. We came to an agreement regarding that. And that's how we're going to do it, because now we both have business licenses. Okay. I'll get more into that in just a little bit. Okay. But no, YouTube is not going to take that channel down. It's been around since 2015. Okay. And I'll get more into this so people understand. Okay. So the first part of the settlement was that if we agree to the settlement, then, she drops her plaintiff's case towards me and I drop my defendant's claim or case towards her. Okay. And the first aspect of it was to help her get her channel back by emailing YouTube Legal, and making them aware that it was an error that the channel was removed for impersonation. Okay. Now, I want to be very clear about this. At this point right now, based on the settlement, and after the settlement has been agreed to and was agreed to, yes, it is considered an error. Okay. Because we didn't realize until right now that we can both legally run two different versions of the GNA by slightly changing things up a little bit with a classification code. Okay. So that was something that wasn't known and wasn't figured out until this time. Okay. So at the time, whether it was my flag or anyone else's flag that took that channel down for impersonation, because there were multiple people. And here's the thing, Tammy, you know this. There were multiple people that flagged your channel for impersonation. I was just one of them. But because it's my channel, the best chance to get your channel back in the ways we've resolved this is by me emailing them from the email associated with that channel, and making them aware of the resolution we came up with, and that it has been deemed that an error happened. Okay. We didn't know about that error until, I got my business license, and that everything has been agreed upon to run our businesses legally as separate entities. I'll get more into that as well, because I think you did touch up on that a little bit, but I'll touch up on that a little bit more. Okay. So, yes, the first part of the agreement is that I need to reach out to Team YouTube legal department and make them aware of this. No problem at all. No problem at all. I would love to help Tammy get her channel back. That's where my head and my heart is at. Eli, please explain in detail to YouTube, no longer than a page to YouTube of explanation. Well, thank you for the thank you for the suggestion, but I got it covered. Grotesque Subhuman 3. That's a great name. I remember you from the past. That's right. I remember the name. Grotesque Subhuman 3. So no problem. Tomorrow, I will be emailing YouTube from the email that is associated to the January Networking Association GNA channel, and it is a branded email. So, when I started that account in 2015, I signed up with my branded Elias Melas at January Networking Association email. Okay. So, that's going to show a little more professionalism, and, that's going to happen. No problem at all. Now, I believe in the, agreement that, it was written that I have 30 days to do this. If they don't reinstate it within 30 days, then we move on to the next part of the agreement, okay? But the judge gave 45 days, and Tammy's now saying 45 days. So what I will say to that is, if I feel after 30 days that they're not going to reinstate it, or they've denied it a few times after some back and forth, I will cut it off at the 30-day period and move on to the next step. But if we're still, working through it, and YouTube legal requests some notarized documents from myself, Tammy, or some signed agreement or something, it will take a little bit longer. And I'm sure in that situation, in that situation, she would understand, as long as we're working towards getting the channel back. If it takes a little more time, anyone in this situation would be understanding, right? Thank you, AC Prod, for banning that. Now, I'm going to read this just because I'm going to laugh in your face, Coach J, because you're just one pathetic, miserable man. And I'm sorry to Tammy, to GLM, or anyone else that likes Coach J. You can like whoever you want, but most people are just not too fond of the piss poor, immature, unstable, unprofessional behavior of Coach J. He creates an account, Tammy 1. How's the drunk? Anna is a real woman. Well, dude, I'm not going to talk about your woman. I've heard some things. I'm not going to talk about them. I've heard a lot of things about what's going on with you, dude. And honestly, I'm not going to stoop down to your level of immaturity and insecurity to bash you on it, dude. I'm much more mature than that. You want to come in here and troll, and if you want to trash talk my woman, that's doing very well, actually. If you feel Tammy won, good for you. Even if Tammy feels she won, that's great, Tammy. I'm not offended by it. I'm cool with everything. You folks can think whatever you want. What matters is what actually happened and how we're moving forward from this. But we all know, if you think that's Coach J, put a 1 in the chat. It's definitely Coach J. He's probably drinking and super triggered, right? It's all good. So let's say, after giving my best faith effort to get Tammy's channel back, my intentions are to give it my best faith effort. And to you, Chrissy Knows It All channel, you just, honestly, I don't think you even hate me. You hate yourself. No disrespect, Tammy. I'm not trying to criticize anyone from your end there. But that Chrissy Knows It All, I don't even think she likes herself, to be honest with you. Maybe you can help her work on, self-love and self-appreciation, because no matter how reasonable I am, it doesn't matter to someone like her. And I say that with respect. I say that respectfully, okay? And yes, Chrissy Knows It All. I will fulfill everything regarding the settlement agreement, okay? That's definitely going to happen. AZ Prod says 1. How you doing, brother? Great to see you here this late night. Or early morning, right? It is 3:09 a.m. Eastern, 12:09 a.m. Pacific. Mrs. Smith, how you doing? We know I'm not gonna say anything, but Mrs. Smith has been with us for a while. She just changed her name, so I'm not gonna say anything more per her request. Welcome to the show, Mrs. Smith. Great to see you here. Don is doing well. Grotesque Subhuman 3 Eli, will you have the yearly GNA gatherings again with Randy Taylor and all other associates? Yeah, I've been wanting to do a GNA reunion in person. We've basically taken things online. We have a big referral base on Facebook and LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a private group, but the majority of our people are on Facebook. We have 3 decent-sized group pages of 4,000 to 5,000 members. We've lost a few over the years, but we've got, still close to 5,000 members. I've got, 3,900 Facebook friends. I used to have like 4,500, but, over the years, people drop off, and I haven't really connected with too many new people on Facebook because I've been on YouTube, and a lot of the people out here that I've come across, especially within this drama group, are not professional worthy to connect on Facebook with. So, but yeah, that's a great question. I would love that. That would be great. Thanks for bringing that up. Lakers Girl 24. With how many trolls I have seen since being introduced to all this craziness, I wouldn't assume it is him. No, it's him. I mean, come on. Miss Smith, Mrs. Smith, AZ Prod, 100% that's Coach J. Only Coach J trolls like that. Coach J is the most triggered man on the planet. And he's triggered at himself. That's just the bottom line. It's a self-respect and insecurity issue within him. That's all it boils down to. I'm saying that respectfully. I'm not trying to be critical. Okay. Now, if after the 30 or 45 days, I've been given 45, but if I feel that Tammy's channel will not be reinstated ever after 30 days, I will move on to the next step after 30 days. Okay? I'm not trying to delay, paying the $1,000. Yes, the next phase, if Tammy's channel is not reinstated, I agree to settle for $1,000 paid to her. Now, a lot of you people think that's admitting guilt. I'm going to explain that in a second, and I think Tammy even understands this too. I'm going to explain what a settlement agreement is, okay? But let's go through this first, okay? So the next phase is going to be to, oh, by the way, first of all, what I think the chances are of Tammy getting her channel back. Initially, I thought it would be higher because I thought the judge may be able to order YouTube to do it, but they don't do that. So right now, honestly, I think it's a 50-50 chance. I think there's a good chance, but it can go either way. It doesn't hurt to try, though. The thing is, it does not hurt to try. And that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do whatever I can to help Tammy get her channel back. Court order or not, that's where my head and heart is at. Okay? Chrissy knows it all. If you feel otherwise, you can sulk in your misery, regarding this and anything and any thoughts on me for however long you like. That's all on you. Okay? Only I know in my head and my heart what my intentions are and what I'm going to do. And this will be fulfilled. Now, so the settlement, if the channel doesn't come back, then the next, part of the settlement agreement will apply. If the channel is reinstated, everything's been fulfilled, and that basically closes the case and we're done permanently. Popeye, 1K isn't much. I just pay it and move forward. I'll get to that. You're right. You're absolutely right. But I want to explain it for people that don't understand it at the level you seem to understand it, Popeye. You seem like a pretty smart, reasonable person. But most people in this group, they don't get it. So, and I also want to, I wouldn't say correct some things that have been said by other people, but I want to add more context to it so people understand why I settled and why it was the best thing to do. Okay. So if it comes to the point of where the channel will not be reinstated, then I will owe Tammy $1,000. And the agreement is that I have 4 months to pay that, 4 payments of $250 each. If I'm late on the payment, 3% interest. If I don't pay it in 4 months, I get sent to collections. I know she has to throw that in there. I know you're not trying to be mean, Tammy, but here's the thing. And I know you don't know me. You don't know the type of person I am off of YouTube. You don't know how organized I am when it comes to paying bills. I handle the finances of Dawn and I. Dawn helps me with it, but I'm a very good bookkeeper, and so speaking of that, when I went to court, I didn't know we were going to settle, so the previous days before settlement, that whole week, I was printing stuff out. I had a briefcase full of all these papers, and that I still brought with me. You never know, just in case. I was hoping you weren't going to punk me, Tammy. I didn't think you were, but you never know. You gotta be prepared, right? And maybe that's why you said on your stream that you're going to sleep better tonight, because what if I punked you? You didn't know if I was going to punk you. And I know that's kind of a 90s or 80s term to you young bucks out there, but yeah. So the settlement, if it gets to the point of in the settlement where the money needs to be paid, I will make my payments. Tammy wrote the 15th of each month. I'll have them paid before the 15th of each month, or by the 15th at the latest. And I will do it. I don't know, Tammy, it has to be like Cash App or PayPal. I want to do it in a way where it's easy to send you the money, and there's going to be a digital receipt of it, because that way it's proof that I paid. And I'm sure if the roles are reversed, yeah, you would want to do it that way, because it would prove the transaction, right? Okay. So anyone out there that thinks I'm not going to pay, if I have to, I will. But both Tammy and I have been very reasonable. Hey, if we can get this YouTube channel back, then that's that. Let's just pray to God that happens. If not, I'll take care of it. Okay. Initially, Tammy had asked for it all up front, and I said, "Look, I've got a lot of bills, and I can spread it out in 4 months." And she worked with me on that, right? She worked with me on that. So yes, it will. If it needs to get paid, it will get paid. Why would you folks think that I would agree to something legally and then not pay it? I don't understand that. I mean, a lot of these people just have a lot of hatred. Hey, Robert, how you doing? Is that the real you, Robert? Nobody's pressing me, Robert. Please don't come in here and talk like that. No one's pressing me. This was my idea. I brought it up, and she wanted to talk about it. It was my idea. And I'm going to get to the reasons why. Grotesque Subhuman 3 says, what advice do you have for someone who is having a problem with internet trolls? In your experience, you've had, would you say it's best to not respond at all to any troll? Hey, Patty, how you doing? Patty, yeah, Patty, I got to look you up. I think I have you moderated on the other channel, right? I've got to look you up in a bit and moderate you here too, but welcome. Great to see you here. I can't believe we have 34 people here in the middle of the night. I guess there's no rebroadcast. It's okay. Everyone's tired. This has been exhausting, right? Yeah, what I would say to that, grotesque, I keep screwing up your name, but you know what I mean, is that there's a time to respond and there's a time to not respond. I think if somebody is poking you enough and you don't eventually at least respond to say how ridiculous it is, I think your audience is going to wonder why you're not responding and just saying, hey, it's ridiculous, stop. Let's just, act like mature adults, right? Look at this one coming in. Oh, Coach Jay's back. He said, do you want more Rocks Locale? STFU now. Do you want more Rocks Locale? STFU now. Robert is another loser. No, Robert's not a loser. You're the loser. I don't even want to call you a loser, but you're the loser, sir. If you think that's Coach J, again, put a 1 in the chat. Coach J, there's something chemically imbalanced with that guy. Like, if you think that there's a huge chemical imbalance with Coach J, then put 2 1s. Put 2 1s. But if you think that's just him, put a 1. Well, I mean, it is. I've mentioned parts of it. Any part you missed, you'll have to go back and watch the replay. But yeah, I'm getting into everything here. So the money, if it gets to the point of the money needing to be paid, I'll pay it. And there's a reason why. There's a reason why I accepted Tammy's part of the settlement. It wasn't going to get settled any other way without that monetary payment. And here's the thing. Even though personally, until we came up with this agreement that, her channel was removed erroneously, because now as part of the agreement, we both decided to allow each other to run our separate entities and versions of the GNA under different classification codes. That wasn't in place back then, right? Mrs. Smith says 1-1. Patty says 1-1. Oh yeah. There's a huge chemical imbalance there. Mrs. Smith, if you want to ban Coach J the next time he comes in on another soccer account, feel free to do so. So it'll get paid. If it needs to be paid, it'll get paid. I'll explain more why I accept this in a bit. Okay. Now let's also talk about what a settlement agreement is. I want to make it very clear. I think Tammy knows this as well, but just in case, I'm going to mention it for whoever doesn't understand this. You can look it up on Google, and it's just common sense. Okay. A settlement agreement. I'll get to your comment in a second. Grotesque. Supplement 3. Well, Grotesque, I'll respond in a... Well, let me do it now, okay? You say, well, the reason why I thought not responding at all to Tammy initially is because had you not flagged her channel and just ignore all her attempts even when she created a GNA, this wouldn't have happened. It's easier in retrospect to see. You have to understand, Grotesque, Subhuman 3, I wasn't the only one that flagged her for impersonation. There were many people that did. Probably even before I did. I mean, she has enemies on this platform like I do, okay? And I wasn't trying to be an enemy of hers. I was just trying to protect my business and my brand at that time. So, no, Popeye, Coach J is not the doctor. Yeah, I get he at least used to be a truck driver, Coach J, but I'm not quite sure. It's none of my business. I don't really even care. It doesn't matter. But yeah, look, anyone can flag a channel for impersonation. So let's say I didn't flag her channel for impersonation. Okay? Let's say I didn't flag her channel for impersonation. And other people did and it went down. Does that put me responsible in this situation? Does it even put me responsible for flagging it? I don't think so, but I don't care at this point. Right now, I'm about resolving this and making peace. And there's a reason why, because you folks don't understand that people can sue you for anything. And if the case is not settled or dismissed, if one side wins, more than likely one side is going to win the case and the other is going to lose. There's going to be an appeal, and that's going to involve attorneys, and attorneys are not cheap. It's going to involve more court fees and all of that. And it's going to outweigh any monetary gain that you would have initially, won. So it's not worth it. Do you folks understand that? But let's go back to talking about what is a settlement agreement, okay? A settlement agreement is, a legal court document or a legal document that states you promise to do what's on that document, right? It's like a legal promise. You have to fulfill it. It's like a to-do list, right? What most people don't understand is that a settlement agreement is not an admission of guilt to anything. Let me make this very, very, very clear. A settlement agreement is not an admission to guilt of anything, okay? And that's why, on the settlement agreement, it was stated as, her channel was removed erroneously because it was found to be erroneous. It was found to be an error after the fact that we both finally realized that we can run our businesses as separate entities with a similar name under a different classification code, both now having a business license here in Redwood City, California, okay? We didn't know that before, right? But now we do, okay? So there's no admission of guilt there that, I wrongfully flagged it initially. I don't think there's any precedence over that, and it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to argue it. What's done is done. I'm just trying to put this out here so people understand why I settled. I wanted to do the right thing. More so, I wanted to not only do the right thing and show, hey, I don't hate Tammy. I don't hate anyone. I never wanted to get involved in any of this crap in the first place. And during the second part of the show, after I come back from a break, we're going to talk about why I really feel we got here in the first place. I kind of said it before, and I'm going to say it again, but I know Tammy's not going to talk about it, and I can respect that. I think you should talk about it, Tammy, to stand up for yourself. And GLM, you were trying to defend, Coach J on your channel on a stream yesterday. I heard that stream on the way to the courthouse. And I was like, GLM, I'm sorry, but respectfully speaking, I'm not mad at you. I'm not going to ban you. I disagree with the Coach J stuff. I mean, you could be friends with whoever you want to be friends with, right? But I'm hearing your stream, and then you threw something in. You said, well, Tammy knew what she was doing, and this is all on Tammy, and Tammy needs to accept responsibility for it. Tammy has accepted responsibility for it. Tammy has gone as far and said that Coach J has nothing to do with this. Now, I think that's bullshit. No disrespect, Tammy. I'm trying to stand up for you and myself, right? And to say to GLM that Tammy has accepted full responsibility for something that I don't feel she's fully responsible for. Have you heard of the phrase accessory? At the very least, Coach J is an accessory. At the very least, right? But we'll get more into that. But I heard GLM say, well, maybe Eli has a little reasoning to go after Coach J. No. I've got a lot. Do I want to go after him? I really don't. I hope I don't have to. I hope that this is going to get him to go away and never bother myself or my girlfriend again. Now, he's obsessed with trolling. We can just ban him regarding that. But if this guy ever goes real life on me again, that's the final straw. That's the final straw right there. Okay. And that's another reason why I've had empathy for Tammy and even was open to settle this. It's because of the fact of Coach J and what he did. Again, I respect your wishes, Tammy. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to upset him. Maybe you made a peace agreement. I respect that, but I'm entitled to my opinion. And if I want to stand up for myself and for you and other people that I feel have been wronged by this man, I'm entitled to that. Like you're entitled to share whatever you want about me and others, right? And you've been respectful, and I'm trying to be respectful too. But people are wondering, how the hell did we get here in the first place? A lot of it has to do with Coach J. We'll get to that in the second part of the show. Okay? Grotesque Subhuman 3. That's true, Eli. I think what you settled with Tammy will save a lot of headaches. In fact, Tammy may in the future abandon any business ventures with her GNA. She may pursue something else. Well, you know what? Honestly, I hope she continues to build it on her end, because I feel she's really passionate about it. That's another reason why I was willing to settle. Oh, and by the way, see, what Tammy wanted initially was for me to cease and desist and not use the GNA on my end. And I wasn't gonna settle for that. So part of the other settlement agreement was that we can both run our entities under a similar name, under different classification codes. She's business support services and I'm personal development. Okay? Those are different class codes. And if we need to change the name slightly, both of us, to make it more compliant with local, state, and federal laws, we're open to that. That's part of the agreement. We're going to work through it. But I'm not going to actively go out there and look to see what she's doing. And she's not going to do that to me. But if she's trying to, change her name with the California state, or I'm trying to do that, we're going to work with each other to make both companies work. Now, should she decide to change the name down the road to something else, that's on her. I won't think any less either way. I actually, to be honest with you, people are not going to understand when I say this, but I'm actually happy that this makes her happy. Initially, and listen, Tammy, you don't need to admit to this, and you don't have to. I'm just saying, initially, I feel this was a big troll. But after a little while, I think you really genuinely started to like this. You like the name. You like what it stands for. And that's great. And I saw that. And when I see people get inspired by something that I founded, and they want to put their own spin on it, and reason to allow us both to do it, that touches my heart. That seriously touches my heart. Maybe this is what it took for Tammy to find her true calling. What it took for me to find my true calling as a coach was going through a really bad breakup in my early 40s and being cheated on and just dealing with a lot. It set me off. And I wanted to channel my energy positively and help people, to, learn how to better pick your dating partners and to, just become a better person, personally and professionally. That's my purpose and my passion. Maybe this is truly what her calling is. And if it ends up not being this, if it ends up being a different business name, that's on her. But I truly believe, Tammy, you're at peace and you're done with all this drama. And I'll share more about that during the second part of the show. But let me say this before I take my first break. We're at 49 minutes, okay? Let me say this real quick here. So again, a settlement agreement is a legally binding promise. It's a legally binding promise that you're going to do what's on the settlement, right? And part of a settlement agreement is that you have to give something up. Look it up online. Look at what people write about settlement agreements. Part of it is having to give something up. In this case, Tammy had to give up her plaintiff's claim. I had to give up my defendant's claim. So in lieu of presenting our case and putting it in the judge's hands, instead, we gave that up and we settled. Okay? That's what it is. But again, to make it very clear, a settlement agreement does not admit guilt. There's no admission of guilt in a settlement agreement. And another thing that you folks should all look up, people are thinking that I'm not going to pay Tammy if I have to and I'm going to default. No, I'm not. But let's say I did, hypothetically, which I'm not. Then I think on May 1st, if it's not fulfilled by then Tammy can report it to the court and they'll reopen the case. We'll have to appear. Right? But if I fulfill it and the judge doesn't hear from Tammy or I, he will close the case automatically on that date. I believe that's how it works. Tammy, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's what I heard earlier today. We can look at the court portal tomorrow. I haven't had a chance to look at that. But let's say the case was reopened because I didn't fulfill my part. Coach Jay, if you love Anna, if you love every bit of Anna, then you don't have to come in here and say that I'm bound to the drunk. My woman is not a drunk. Okay? My woman has had a run-in with alcohol. I've even had a run-in with alcohol. Dude, you got drunk publicly on a live stream. You want me to blast out that live stream everywhere? Dude, I don't have the desire to troll you or even try to make your life miserable. I'm not that kind of person. But, if you think every single bit of your wife, Anna, is a real woman, dude, then, dude, more power to you, brother. More power to you, dude. More power to you, bro. If you think that's Coach Jay again and he's really super obsessed, put a 1 in the chat. I mean, I and then he's going to do a stream and say, that wasn't me. He's going to try to deny it, right? I'm not bound to anyone. I love Dawn. Dawn is funny as hell. Dawn cracks me up. I crack her up. We get along like 2 peas in a fucking pod. So, hey, it is what it is. And if we end up going back to court, then what was stated on the settlement agreement is inadmissible in court. Okay, look it up. So you folks have to understand what a settlement agreement is. Okay? It's a promise to do something. It's a legally binding promise to do something by giving something else up. In this case, both of our claims, the plaintiff's and defendant's claims. Okay? And if it's not fulfilled in a certain amount of time, and, the party that doesn't have their end fulfilled reports it to the court, then we both have to report back and the case continues. If it's not reported by the date, the case is closed without prejudice, meaning we could both refile, but we would have to refile again, which neither one of us wants to do that. I'm just throwing it out there, right? I'm making everyone aware, line by line, detail by detail, what this is all about, right? Lakers girl. Let me see. Lakers girl 24, but doesn't it just sort of seem like all the concessions were in one direction? Am I missing something? What do you mean by that? Be more specific. What do you mean by concessions? Are you saying, do you feel this deal was one-sided? That's what I'm thinking you're saying. No, because here's the thing. Okay? The thing is that if her and I were to not settle, more than likely one of us would have won our claim. She might have won her plaintiff's claim. I might have won my defendant's claim. I feel I have a pretty strong case, right? Or had and still have. And I believe she feels the same way about herself. You know, I feel my case is stronger than hers. She feels her case is stronger than mine. But then you roll the dice with the judge, right? But here's the thing. It wasn't even about rolling the dice. The bottom line is, if I won my defendant's claim or she won her plaintiff's claim, then the side that lost was going to automatically appeal the case. So here's the thing. I was suing for $10,000 for business identity theft with the intention of intentional infliction of emotional distress. Okay. Part of this agreement between the both of us, and we don't have to go any further than this, the both of us, now that we have a business license with different class codes, we agreed to not say that there's any trademark or copyright infringement indefinitely. So basically, part of the agreement was that she can't go after me for trademark or copyright infringement, and I can't go after her for trademark or copyright infringement, okay? But the main reason of the settlement was because, again, if either one of us won our case, right, both people are not going to win the case. It's going to be one or the other or no one at all, right? If one of us won the case, the other would appeal it. Then we could bring attorneys. We'd have to pay more court fees. We'd have to put an attorney on retainer, right? So let's say that at the end of the day, I win my defendant's claim. Let's say we went to court and I won my defendant's claim for $10,000. Tammy would appeal it. She'd have to get an attorney, and so would I. Okay? Now, we've already put in a good amount of money into this case, right? What would it take now? For a civil court attorney, I mean, you're looking at least $3,000 to $5,000 on retainer, and this could cost more. And with the amount of evidence they'd have to go through, I can tell you right now, this case would cost more than the $10,000 claim. On Tammy's end, her original claim was $2,500. So we were able to negotiate as part of the settlement to bring that down to $1,000. And I feel that was fair. That was fair to basically get this case closed. And here's the thing. I don't have to pay that if I get her channel back. If we're fortunate to get her channel back, I don't have to pay that. If not, it's worth paying this to move on so she can do what she can do and I can do what I can do, and it won't cost us more money than $1,000. You got to understand, this $1,000 is peanuts. Even though I'm not a rich man, I will pay it in 4 payments, but it's peanuts compared to how much more we would lose even if we won our claim, right? Do you folks understand that? Grotesque Subhuman 3. Well, GLM was upset because she believed that the Yankee judge would have sided with you completely. Who knows? Maybe so. We don't know. But again, let's assume that the judge did decide for me or would have decided for me, okay? Let's say Tammy and I went to court and the judge decided for my defendant's claim and dismissed her plaintiff's claim. Tammy would appeal. We would have to get attorneys, and it would end up costing us more than the $10,000 that I'm going to win, that I would win. This would be tied up in court for a while. That the amount of time, stress, energy, and attorney's fees, court fees, and all that stuff. Are you folks understanding this? Do you folks understand this? That's why I want to do this stream, because this is what you folks are not understanding. Okay? So again, I could have said, okay, I won't settle if you want any money besides getting your YouTube channel back. And she could have said, well, okay, I'll see you in court. Then we go to court. And again, if one of us wins, there's going to be an appeal. So no one's going to really win. Do you understand? This is going to be tied. It would have been tied up in court for years. Then all these crazy creators making a ton of content off this, low-cal content, and then saying, oh, maybe you should go to Judge Judy instead. No. I like Judge Judy. She's funny, but I'm not going to go on the Judge Judy show and then give all these trolls out here something more to laugh about. I'm not going to make this a laughing stock or a laughing matter. Attorneys are a waste of money in this case. Well, yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, but here's the thing. If, let's say I won, let's say we went through with the case and I won the defendant's claim and she lost her plaintiff's claim. This is just for example, Tammy. Okay? She's going to appeal it. So there's no point in even trying to win the case for either one of us, because it's going to be appealed till kingdom come. And it's going to cost us more at the end of the day than any money we would have been awarded otherwise, right? Do you folks understand that? I think Popeye gets it, right? And I believe this whole thing was a waste of time. But I'm not blaming Tammy for it, because when we come back, I'm going to share my reasoning why this even happened. How we got here, right? How did we get here, right? Respectfully, Tammy, I am being respectful to you and taking your side on this, because I'm telling you, and the audience here, your audience, my audience, whoever's watching, I'm telling you the reasons why I decided to settle with you. Because if I didn't think that you were a victim in some capacity over this whole thing, I would have never settled with you, period. I wouldn't have. The reason why I settled with you is because I feel that you were wronged here too. And other people want you to come out and talk about it. And if you don't, that's cool. You don't have to. But I honestly think we could really set some things straight here talking about this and set some precedents. Especially when it comes to Coach J, because he's harmed a lot of people. A lot of people are saying, oh, Elias harmed a lot of people. I haven't harmed a fly. I've said some nasty things in the past. I've never harmed anyone. I've never come at anyone. Look, can you folks in the chat that are here, honestly, have I ever harmed anyone regarding any past or present content you've seen compared to the ways Coach J has harmed myself or other people? Okay? Who do you consider a more harmful person, Coach J or myself? And be honest. And justify it. Write about it. I'll read it when I get back from the break. Okay? But yeah, that was the agreement, and that's why we did it. And it's a damn good agreement. And furthermore, I'm really happy that, Tammy's ready to move past all the trolling. She's like withdrawing herself from all this drama crap. She doesn't want it. She's been very adamant about it. And I respect that, Tammy. I really do. I really respect that. And here's the thing. I'll say this before I go to the first break here. And the only break, because I'll come back and go another maybe half hour to 45 minutes or so. You're tired, Tammy. I'm tired too. But I will tell you this, Tammy. I never wanted to make this about having an opponent, and I don't want to look at it that way because I was, involuntarily put into this. I never wanted this to happen, but when you get sued for whatever reason, you're automatically involved by default, right? And I know, Tammy, that you've been involved in some legal stuff in the past. We don't need to talk about it. I'm just saying you put in a lot of time and energy into some other legal battles. I've shared my thoughts about those in the past. I'm not going to share those again. Those are in the past. We moved on, and I really respect how we're handling things maturely now and how we're communicating maturely. I hope that continues. It will continue on my end. But you have to admit something, that I gave you a good run at it. I did give you a good run at it, and I'm not saying that you would have lost or I would have lost. Who knows what would have happened in court? I'm not admitting guilt. Neither are you to anything. And we're not saying that we would have won or lost. All I'm saying is that I don't think you thought that I was going to be as responsive, as professional. I don't think you thought that I was going to file the defendant's claim and all that. And I care about this brand because I plan to build it too, just like you. And you gave a good run at it too. Don't get me wrong. I was like, what am I going to expect from Tammy next? Who's going to serve me next? What am I going to get in the mail next? What's going to show up on the portal next? I mean, literally, Tammy, we're probably sitting there throughout the days refreshing the Odyssey portal from the San Mateo County court website, looking to see if something new was filed by one or the other. That's how it was for 4 months, right? And that's why you couldn't sleep. Or for me, I lost sleep. I was getting some sleep, but yeah, I mean, I was up late working on this stuff. I also, have been taking care of Dawn and her medical stuff, and I have family stuff. You got your family stuff and other things going on. Yeah, life was still going on throughout all this, so I get it. But yeah, I've always been the kind of guy that stands up for what I believe in. And if I believe in something, okay, I don't know if fighting for it's the right word. I'm not going to let down is a better way to say it. When I believe in something, I won't back down. That's a good way to put it. Like Tom Petty, God rest his soul. I won't back down. That's like my song right there, right? You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. And I won't back down. I'll stand my ground, right? And I won't back down. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we wore each other out. Fair statement, right? At this point, I got to get a good laugh at this because it's so nice for it to be done. Okay, so there you go. We still have 35 people here in the middle of the night. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to step away and take a quick break. And when I get back, I'm gonna talk about Coach Jay for a little bit. I'm gonna talk about, some of the stuff that GLM was saying on her stream yesterday, standing up for Coach J. I'm going to talk about, what I feel he really did, in my opinion, involving this case and Tammy. And I'm going to say it respectfully. I'm not coming at you in any way, shape, or form, Tammy. I'm just standing up for you. And I know you don't want to say anything, but I'm going to, because I believe in the truth and I believe in exonerating people from things that they deserve to be exonerated from. Okay? And I think you deserve to, be exonerated from, parts of this. Okay? And maybe the whole thing at this point. Okay? But you'll see what I'm talking about. I think you know what I'm talking about. I'll get to that after the break. So let's cue up some royalty-free YouTube music. We are at 1 hour and 11 minutes. Let's see here. All right. Let's see here. All right. Music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for about like a 7 or 8 minute break. I need a little more time. Got to use the boys' room. Grab a little more coffee. So we'll see you in a little bit. Stick around. Round. We'll be right Yeah, meditation is fantastic. Yeah. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Welcome back. Yeah. 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 Welcome back to the show, everybody. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube, live on the main channel, Coach Eli, Elias Melas, where I've been running the in-studio live streams for the last month or so. I'm going to run them here for another week or two at the most, and then the in-studio live streams will go back to Coach Eli, 2 authentic live streams along with the Walking with Purpose streams, and this will be a pre-recorded channel again, and a YouTube Shorts channel and all that jazz. So just to let you folks know what's going on regarding that. But before we get back to it, just want to remind you folks that if you are getting value from the content you're consuming on either one of the channels, please consider making a donation in any amount based on the value you feel you are receiving. Nightbot has been sharing my Cash App. I believe Nightbot's been sharing the links. Where is Nightbot? Nightbot has not been in the chat. I'm going to have to fix them in a second, but Nightbot will be sharing the links to my PayPal and Cash App. On PayPal, you can go to paypal.me/Coach Eli, and on Cash App, you can go to $TheRealCoach Eli. You can also super chat, hit the $sign at the bottom of the chat, send a super chat or super sticker in any amount. On the pre-recorded videos or live stream replays, once they're done processing, you can actually click on the super thanks and send a highlighted donation up to $500 now within the comments section. So there are your options if you excuse me, my throat here. Leave Anna out of your mouth, Eli. You're jealous that you don't have Anna, loser. I hear there's a new mediation channel out there now. I hope they're having a great night. Mediation. Oh, God. Man, these people never stop. They never stop. Leave Anna out of your mouth. Eli, you're jealous that you don't have Anna, loser. What am I jealous of, sir? Am I jealous of your fake silver play button? Am I jealous of the millions that you claim to have? Am I jealous of all the multi-billion, trillion, zillion dollar companies that you own, sir? Allegedly. I mean, if you had millions of dollars, you would have invested that into, Tammy's version of the GNA. And, she would have like this big high-rise building in San Francisco with the big GNA logo. You can get a good laugh at that, Tammy. I'm sure you can. I can understand. Let me first of all make sure that everything's rolling smoothly again. Just give me a second here. Give me a second. I want to make sure the audio is good. Okay. Anna, loser. What am I jealous of, sir? Am I jealous of your fake silver play button? I don't know of. Listen, I'm not going to talk about women because I'm very understanding to what women would do, right? I can understand if a woman bought a fake silver play button to make herself feel better and hang around with all her girlfriends and say, ooh, this is so cool, right? But, if a man does dumb shit like that, I mean, that's just beyond me. Let's just put it that way. That's just beyond me. But anyway, Mrs. Smith is dying out of laughter. She's dying out of laughter. All right. So, let's continue here because I don't plan on being on too much longer, maybe 30 to 45 minutes more. Okay. I want to talk about, what GLM was saying on her stream earlier this morning. Once again, I was listening to it on the way to the courthouse in South San Francisco. I got to say, thank God for Fast Track, having the lane where you pay a little money using the transponder to bypass traffic. It makes things really nice because the San Francisco Bay Area is just traffic ridden. But that Fast Track lane, man, you just zip on by. You got to watch out for cars that pull into the Fast Track lane that are stopped in the other lanes. You got to be careful, that can cause an accident. But it's a great thing to have. But so GLM, you were standing up for Coach J. I know you're friends with Coach J. You have the right to be friends with whoever you want to be friends with. And again, I'm cool with everyone. I don't have a problem with anyone. I love people in general. I don't want to have a problem with Coach J, but, Coach J causes a lot of problems. He stirs up the pot more than a reasonable amount. He takes things into real life. And you were saying on your stream that Tammy needs to accept responsibility for her actions. Well, like I said earlier in the show, in the past, she has. Tammy has told me, and she's even gone public on it, I believe, that she accepts full responsibility for any action she's taken regarding this whole, lawsuit and, business dispute over the GNA name, right? And while I respect you, Tammy, I respect her, GLM, for accepting responsibility, it is not fully her responsibility. Now, I'm the one that, this disrupted the most. I'm the one that should be the most upset over this, but I'm actually not. I'm being very reasonable here because this is a business I've been running since 2011. And regardless of how much money it's made, how long it's been around, it's been more like a side hustle, right? But that doesn't matter. It's something that, I'm proud of, and I want to continue building. And I should be, more upset about it, but I'm not, because I'm very reasonable and I can see what truly happens to people, right? GLM, you said that, Coach J, has not taken advantage of Tammy. Coach J is or has not abused Tammy. And I completely disagree with that. I was talking about this with Dawn earlier today. I asked another woman's opinion. She even agreed with me. And Dawn loves me. I love her. But if Dawn thinks I'm wrong, she'll call me out. That's what I love about her. And I'll call her out too. That's the way it works, right? Even in a relationship, you got to be honest with each other, right? But anyway, sorry, give me a second here. Oh, Coach J's back again. Let's read this. I have info knowing mama made you settle or get off the internet. Look how happy you are now. More acting like you have a career. What? Dude, are you schizo? Okay, if you think this guy is schizophrenic, put a 1 in the chat, please. I mean, seriously, dude. My mother has nothing to do with this. Absolutely nothing to do with this. Is she aware of the case? Of course. She's my mother. But she has nothing to do with this. Why bring my mother in this? Because for some reason, I don't know. For some reason, you folks think that, my mother takes care of everything. Oh, we're a team. My mother, Dawn, myself, my brother, my aunt, we're a family. We take care of things together, right? But you folks some of you that haven't liked me for years, more so, it's a projection. You don't like yourselves or love yourselves. You project my mama onto me. Eli's mama is going to bail him out. No, she's not going to bail me out. I'm going to handle this on my own. But Jonathan Woke. I have info knowing mama made you settle or get off the internet. Oh, you have info, right? Did you hack my security cameras somehow, sir? Miss Smith says 1. She thinks Coach J is schizophrenic. Oh, man. Look how happy you are now. More acting like you have a career. I've been happy all the time. It's just, a big distraction when someone like you comes in and tries to terrorize this entire community on YouTube, right? Or terrorize people in general. You know what I mean? But GLM, we got rudely interrupted by another one of Coach J's sock accounts. Man, wow. So even Don agrees with me. This is my opinion. I'm only speaking for myself here. And I honestly feel that Tammy has been the victim of abuse. What type of abuse? Okay. Coach J preyed on her vulnerabilities. Now, I have to be honest here, Tammy, because I want to keep it real and show you support on this. Like I've always said, right is right and wrong is wrong. Despite how I feel about you, which right now I feel we're on good terms. I really like that. I want to keep that going and see where it goes, right? I don't expect anything, but hey, I'm open to the possibilities. I think you are too. But I honestly feel Coach J preyed on your vulnerabilities. Okay? And we don't have to get into the reason how he was able to do that. Okay? We know the reason why. People can put 2 and 2 together. I'm not here to make you feel awkward, Tammy, or anything. I'm here. I've got your back on this, actually. I do. I also appreciate the fact that you're handling the trolls very well, and you don't want people to hate there. You don't want them to hate on me. I don't want people hating on you here. If people hate on you, I will remove them. If it's a moderator, I'll give them a warning, and then they'll be gone. Like I'm not gonna be dealing with this BS trolling, hateful hatred thing that people do out here. You know what I mean? He preyed on your vulnerabilities and then incited you to do this. I'm not saying that it was 100% him, but it was like at least 80, 90% him. He gave you the idea. Okay, I'm not questioning that we've settled. I'm good with it. I'm happy that we're both able to run our businesses as individual separate entities. Okay. But again, this guy many years ago, when my channel was called The Grip on Life, he was trying to claim ownership to that name and this and that. And the bottom line is A Grip on Life is a generic term, right? And I ended up changing my channel name anyway. I was going to do it anyway. It's now Coach Eli, Elias, Melas, right? But he did the same thing to me years ago. Then all of a sudden, he connects with you, squirms his way in, preys on your vulnerabilities, right? And then he has you do this. He puts this in your ear. GLM made some really funny videos about Pedro Dordes Santiago. LL, gosh, that was genius. Oh, I didn't see those. I mean, if you have links to those, email me if they're still up. I'd like to see those. I haven't watched the Pedro DoorDash Santiago video in ages. He just repeats the same stuff. I mean, there's a few new things, but it's like the DoorDash talk has gotten old. Like, it's just the same old, right? Keeps getting worse. They keep paying less. They keep making it, harder for people to make a decent living. It's not even worth my time anymore. It's not. But thank you for sharing. I firmly believe if Coach J was never on this platform, if Tammy didn't know him, if he didn't know me, if he never came across JB Gunner years ago where he found out about myself and many others that he's still involved coming at nowadays. I mean, this guy's been booted from every community he's been a part of. He basically got booted from JD Gunner's community like 4 years ago. Then he went to the Legion, Jamie's community, got booted from there. Then he came to my community, tried to come in. I banned him. Then I ended up bringing him back right about the time when I first met Dawn and started dating her, about 2 years ago or so. 6 months into dating Dawn. So we were together for 6 months, and basically, we all connected on Facebook Messenger. One cute. Tammy already was upset. You don't believe she makes her own decisions. I'm not saying Tammy doesn't make her own decisions. She does. She does make her own decisions. That's not. You can stick around for now. I think that's Coach J again, but I'm not saying that she doesn't make her own decisions. But when a man is able to manipulate or prey on a woman's vulnerabilities and gets close to that woman, and when I say close, I'm not talking about romantic close. You can get close to someone. As a man, you can get close to a woman that you're not romantically involved with. It's still preying on their vulnerabilities, especially, if the woman feels a stronger feeling on the other side. I'm not saying that's the case. Could have been. I don't know for a fact. I'm not trying to make it awkward, but the bottom line is that's what I think he did. And there are many other people saying the same thing. That's why I feel she's a victim. I'm not saying that Tammy's not capable of making her own decisions. She is, right? But I think if it wasn't for him, this would have never happened. Now, I think throughout all of this happening, Tammy started to like the GNA name, started to like the positivity and all that, and she grew to truly love it. And that's inspirational to me. But I don't think if it wasn't for Coach J that Tammy would have popped up out of the blue and said, I'm going to change my channel name to Gender Networking Association or ASSOC and troll this guy and do this and that, right? I don't think she would have done that. That's just my opinion. Again, it's my opinion. No big deal. We've moved on, but I'm trying to share some context here with the people on why I settled and what actually happened, what got us to this point. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, of course. Like, look, you folks out here try to spin things out of context, right? To create more conflict and controversy. So there's this back and forth. Oh, now Eli and Tammy are fighting. And no, I don't plan on fighting with Tammy ever again. I never wanted to fight with her in the first place. I've actually got more of her back. I'm trying to have her back regarding something I feel is more serious than even this entire case. A man preying on a woman's vulnerabilities and then getting her to do things based on the predatory actions of those vulnerabilities is sickening. That is abuse. If you feel that is abuse, I believe it's emotional abuse, and it's emotional abuse. And it is mental and emotional abuse. Put a 1 in the chat if you feel that's what it is. I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear your thoughts, right? And Coach Jay was very involved in Tammy's version of the GNA. And then all of a sudden, when the stove got hot, right around the time, I guess, when I filed the countersuit, he runs, he walks away, and he's been staying quiet for the most part. Does that not speak for itself? Maybe he's saying, oh, I'm just tired of all this drama. No, you're not, dude. You love drama. You live for drama. You backed away because a lot of the legalities, a lot of the legal hot water stuff falls back more on you than anyone else, in my opinion. And I think you know that. Because I'll tell you this, Coach Jay, I'm not saying Tammy should do this, and I'm not inciting anyone to come after you. But how do you not know that one day Tammy gets up and says, you know what? As much as I hate to admit it, this was abusive and this was predatory. And, what if she came after you? Right? See, the reason why you keep on getting away with this shit, Coach Chase, because nobody fucking holds you accountable ever. No one holds you accountable. No one has held you accountable, right? Because the moment that people try to hold you accountable, the moment the stove gets too hot, you run away like a little girl. That's what you do. You run away like a little girl. That's what you do. And that's what you did here. And any last shred of respect that you may have had from certain people, I'm sure went out the door. Now, you don't have to worry about me losing any more respect, towards you, because I've already lost the max amount of respect for you a long time ago. I have negative respect for you, if that's even possible, right? Now, I don't hate you. I don't hate anyone. I just don't trust you. I don't think you're a good human being. I think you're a very, very sick, sad, miserable man. I think you're a lonely man, even though you claim to be happily married. Gemma also joined. I know Gemma's still on the page. I like Gemma. I have no problem with Gemma, and I hope Gemma and Tammy can build their version of the GNA. And who knows, maybe we can all work together down the road. I know, like I said earlier, Tammy has a lot of things she's working on right now, like a teaching credential and stuff like that. I get that. All I'm saying is that I don't want people to think now that, Tammy and I just, resolve this, or how do I say this the right way? I don't want people to think that Tammy and I made peace and became cordial just to get this settled. No, that's not how I work. That's not how I work. If I didn't think for 1 minute that there was a genuine amount of sincerity coming from Tammy, I wouldn't have settled. And I think it would have been the same thing on her end. Okay? I don't need that crap in my chat. The spam filter caught it. The health for review. Give me a second here. I mean, who is that DoorDash sucks? That's not the real. That's Coach Jay. He's gone again. Oh man. Oh man. We've been stuck at 25 viewers for a while. Gemma's going to work with neurodivergent clients. Well, good for her. I wish her the best. Give me a second. Who is that DoorDash? Let me see here. Coach Jay's really triggered tonight. J. Mammy Madim. You got scared when mommy told you to fix it because you promised you could. Dude, do you have some fetish with my mother? Do you wish you had a mother like I do? Like, well, what is this, dude? What, dude, you are really showing your schizophrenia tonight. You really are. If you're still around, Mrs. Smith, or anyone else, and you think that that's Coach Eli and he's trying to more so show his schizophrenia, put a 1 in the chat. Okay. So, you get booted from JB Gunner's community. You get booted from Jamie's community. You come into mine, get booted once right away. I bring you back on a good faith basis. You and your, I don't think you and Anna were married yet, but you and your wife to be at that point, or let's just call her your wife because she's your wife now, got close with my girlfriend Dawn. Dawn didn't know how this stuff, happens on YouTube. She didn't know that you two are going to try to love bomb her and then get information from her regarding me, right? I mean, how juvenile is that, dude? How juvenile is that? Oh, yeah, I forgot to ban you, J. Mammy Madim. Let me do that right now. You're gone. I mean, seriously, dude. Like, you do the same thing with your wife. You did the same thing to Tammy. You do the same thing with people. What you do is you have enlisted people. Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen him do this. You have enlisted people. You get close to people, and then you basically enlist them to come after me. You love bomb them, and you stir them up so much about me in a negative way that you get them to come at me. You get them to do your dirty work for you. That's really pathetic, man. It really is. Really, really pathetic. It's the same old thing, same pattern. You've been doing this for years. Now, I'm not going to sit there, and there are some things that, several people have mentioned to me about what you're going through currently behind the scenes. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to stoop to your level because I'm not like you at all. But I will say, sir, if you're going through some struggles, however it may be, whether it's mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, or any other way, do you not think you should focus more of your time on fixing or resolving those issues than coming out here and not only trolling me, but enlisting people to troll me? Enlisting people to go real life on me? You are so miserably unhappy deep within yourself that you need to try to kick another man down that you perceive to be in a better place than you as a super pathetic attempt to make yourself feel better. I keep saying that. I sound like a broken record, but it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. And I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. But someone, and listen, I don't wish any harm upon you, but somebody has to hold you accountable. Somebody has to call it out the way it is. Because I know there are a lot of people that don't like what you did. They don't like what you've done to me. They don't like what you've done to Tammy. There are a lot of people that firmly believe, and they talk to people behind the scenes. There are a lot of people that firmly believe that you abused Tammy in the way of preying on her vulnerabilities and exploiting those vulnerabilities. And you should be ashamed of yourself, dude. You should be ashamed of yourself. You call yourself a man? You call yourself a man, no real man is going to prey on the vulnerabilities of anyone, let alone a woman, dude. Come on, man. You claim to be alpha. Alpha males don't treat anyone like that. A real alpha male is going to be cool, calm, and collected and be well balanced and be a little cocky, playful, funny. A real man is not going to be an arrogant, pompous ass like you are. Oh, wow, I just found his channel and listened to. Oh, well, that's great. I don't think you just found his channel. I think you're here trolling, but that's okay. You haven't said anything ban-worthy yet. 1Q. How could you find his channel by just saying Coach J? Coach J won't find his channel. His live, he seems aggressive. Oh yeah, he's a triggered boy. Yep. So here's the thing. That's all it boils down to. I shared everything here tonight, regarding what got us to this place. I got to say, Tammy, I've seen you in a whole new light. I'm going to be honest with you because I haven't known you too long. What I've seen from you over the last 3 to 4 days that we've worked together to settle this, and it was very simple and actually a pleasure to work with you on this. It was, seriously. But what I saw in the past, myself and many others never thought this could be possible. And the people that now have seen it happen, many of them, especially on my end, are thinking that this is an insincere thing. Or they're thinking that there should have been no money involved or anything, right? Well, if you're going to settle, if you're the defendant and you're trying to settle a case with the plaintiff, it's probably going to involve some kind of money. That's just the way it goes. Whether you feel you're right or wrong, it doesn't matter, right? And again, you settle because even if, I were to win my defendant's claim and she lost her plaintiff's claim, okay, she would appeal the case, and then we're right back in court with attorneys, and that 10 grand goes right to attorneys and court fees. It's not even worth it, right? It's not worth it. Well, Coach J, if you're going to come in here and make fun of my woman by creating an account called Dawn Dish Soap, you can actually take a hike. And yeah, we actually use Dawn and Palm Olive here at the house. And Dawn loves the fact that she's named after a dishwashing soap. Man, I've never seen any bigger man-child than Coach J. This guy's the biggest man-child I've ever seen on the planet. Grotesque Subhuman 3, will you be willing to live stream with Tammy? And we've already talked about that. Tammy actually wanted me to come on. Both Tammy and let me talk about this because I know you're rebroadcasting on your channel, Sarah. I don't care. It's not a big deal. I'm surprised you're up this late, but at the same time, I'm not surprised. You were waiting for me to go live. You're going to wait up all night for me, Sarah. I know that. You can't miss a story. But, so, and I say this respectfully because I don't have problems with anyone. You know, if a few other people aren't talking, that's not on me, but I'm cool with everyone. And I'm not the kind of person that's going to pin and pit people against each other and choose. I don't do that. I just don't do that. Okay. But, so I was invited to be a surprise guest on Sarah's channel because after the court case, Sarah was going to do a post-courtroom interview with Tammy. Well, what ended up happening is, and I put two and two together, and it's obvious because I actually saw what happened. And obviously the stream didn't happen, right? Apparently, Tammy told Sarah about the settlement, and Sarah put it out there publicly. And I saw you put it out there publicly. I saw the rebroadcast that Jamie did. No problem. I had no problem with it. To be honest with you, I had no problem with it. Okay? But I think Tammy had a problem with it. And that's between you and her. I mean, you two figure that out. I don't have a problem with either one of you. I can understand why she feels the way she feels. But, you know, I've been dealing with you folks and dealing with people like this that do these things for 6 years. I can just brush this off like, okay, whatever, right? Everyone's going to know tomorrow anyway, so what's the big deal, right? But I understand. I understand why Tammy feels the way she feels, right? So then I guess Tammy decided to not go on her show. Sarah invited me to go on her show, and so did Tammy. But Dawn Dish Soap, if you're going to call my woman that, let's call her Dawn, had a doctor's appointment at 4:20. And the actual time of the appointment was 4:20. I thought that was kind of ironic. And, you know, she does 4:20 for medicinal purposes, you know, stress and anxiety and other stuff, right? Hold on a second here. Hey, Sandra, how you doing? I didn't see that. I guess that was held for review. Something was hidden. The next Coach J account is, Anna is better looking than your mother, loser. My mother is 74 years old. And she looks pretty good for her age. Like, dude, what do you want to do? Some Yo Mama jokes, dude? Do you want to play the Yo Mama game? Yo Mama drink apple juice? She was really mad before because you rejected her. The only reason, and she knows this, and it all stems back to Coach J. And people that know Coach J, listen, even the mediation channel, you know, it's all Coach J. You know it. You know it. Coach J, I think, has done the absolute worst stuff in this entire drama group of over 6 years compared to anything everyone else has done combined. Coach J has done more horrific stuff than every other person and everything they've done combined for the last 4 to 6 years. Yeah. Yeah. So, yes, I am open to going on other shows. I think we've pretty much played out. Talking about this. This was never a game for me. This was never ever done for content. I was the one that was sued. So it's like, why would I just say, hey, somebody sue me so I can make endless YouTube drama shit show content for the next 4 months? No, that doesn't make any sense, right? I think it's all been played out, and I agree with what Tammy said on her stream yesterday, that she's tired of people making content off of this, right? And when I heard her say that on the replay of her streams, I didn't catch up on stuff until just like maybe an hour or two before I went live, because I had a lot of things to do today between going to court, taking Dawn to her appointment. I got to give Dawn her medication at night for her ankle, inject that. There's a lot going on, but the only reason why I didn't go on Tammy's panel in the past was because of her involvement with Coach J. That's the honest to God truth. I wanted to get away from that guy. I don't want to be on a panel with him. He gets really triggered. Like I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think he does steroids. Like I think he does. I think he goes through roid rage. You folks know what roid rage is, right? Like men that do steroids illegally are juicing, makes them very, very, very dangerous. They get triggered at the drop of, they get triggered at the drop of a dime, which is what I'm trying to say. Super triggered, right? So yes, I'm open to it. I'm open to discussing some serious nature topics. What I'm not open to is exactly what Tammy's been saying lately. She doesn't want to do lolcow content. She doesn't want to deal with this drama anymore. She's dramaed out. It exhausted you. You said it, Tammy. Maybe it took this whole experience to get a taste of what I've been dealing with for the last 6 years out here. No, I've gotten better. I don't let it bother me anymore. And you've had experience on other social media platforms, but you're still fairly new. You were still fairly new to YouTube. You're still fairly new to creating video content the last year or two. Many of us have been doing this, like myself, for over 6 years, continuously. I mean, it's gotten so old to me that I'm like immune to it. It makes me numb. I'm numb to it. It's like, remember the days when we used CDs? It's like, choosing one song on the CD player and hitting repeat and playing the same thing over and 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 over again. That's what it is. That's how it's been with this group for 6 years. The same thing on a repeat over and over and over again, right? With the same people. And that's the thing, Tammy and everyone else. This group of Coach Eli haters or Tammy haters or whatever, right? These are the people that are holding us back from creating the real greatness we were meant to create, right? Okay? But the problem is this, what you mentioned, Tammy, is that you have certain creators out here that have built loyalty with the Coach Eli audience and the Coach Eli the Coach Eli hate audience and the Tammy hate audience. And when these people talk about us and restream us or whatever, they get those people, right? When they don't restream us, they come here. I had 35, 40 people here before Sarah went live. Now I've got 25. I don't really care. I'm just saying that's how it works. That's what they do, right? And hey, so be it. That's their content. They can do what they want. But if we're going to create something serious, we can't be a part of that. It's not that I don't like them. I like them. I don't have a problem with Sarah or Jamie or anyone. It's just the type of content they create is clocking in, clocking out. We have to be the lolcow to their audience or it doesn't work for them and they're out of business. You understand that? And so it's like it kind of puts you in a position of where, yeah, you know what? I really want to be friends with Sarah, Tammy might say, but the content she creates contradicts the content I want to create. I cannot be used as a lolcow for content in this court case if I'm going to be a serious business owner and preach positivity to my version of the GNA, right? That's what it boils down to. With no offense or disrespect to Sarah or Jamie or Tammy or anyone else. Do you understand? That's why I've been saying it's a conflict of interest, right? Right? And I think you realize that. I think you realize that, Tammy. Now, you know, I think that, in my opinion, I think you should patch things up with Sarah, have a talk with her. That's just my opinion. I'm just throwing it out there. And I'm sure she'll understand and probably, respect your wishes of not lolcowing your content, right? I don't know how to say it, lolcowing, right? And maybe she's told you, or maybe she will. Like, you got to understand, like, I'm not saying that I don't understand why you feel the way you feel. I do. But at the same time, I've learned to understand the type of content they create. It's like parody. It is lolcow parody stuff. They have an audience for it. Now, here's the thing. The key is that a lot of her audience is your audience when you're talking about me, good, bad, or indifferent, right? And you have to keep correcting people like Joe Buddy and stuff. Joe Buddy has just hated me for 6 years, over 6 years. A lot of those people, are there for their hatred of me, and you're calling it out. And again, I don't care whoever you want in your audience is all you. It's on you. What I'm saying is I think you're realizing the same thing I realized years ago. If you want to grow into something more legitimate and genuine, like I think you do, those people aren't going to get you. They're going to hold you back, right? Grotesque says, right, I know you had said that. I was there when Tammy had the video up. It actually said, welcome, Eli. And then when Willis told you to be careful, Tammy unleashed the deluge of videos about. Well, yes, Will and some people did warn me, but it wasn't what Will said that got me to back away. I looked a little more closely and saw that Coach J was heavily involved with her, and I wanted and still want nothing to do with him. I don't want anything to do with him. Grotesque says, I mean, it was video after video after video every single day for months. I was like, wow, yeah, well, I still have I have those videos and I have screenshots. And again, they're in the archive. Tammy and I have fixed it and we're moving on. And I respect that. But I get where you're coming from. right? I get where you're coming from, right? But do you not think for a second that Coach J didn't get in their ear and said, here, go after Eli. I got all the videos on Eli. Do you not think, okay, let me ask you this, Grotesque and other people. Do you think that Coach J was feeding Tammy past videos of me to create that hate content? I really don't think she would have come at me had he not antagonized her or preyed on her vulnerabilities. Do you folks understand what I'm saying? And I'm taking your side, Tammy. I am. I'm taking your side. I know you don't want to bash Coach J, and I'm not even trying to bash him either. We're taking your side. This guy is a predator. He is. He is. He is a sick, delusional man. He is. 1Q, Coach J has been live with Tammy on Rumble a few times, so it's not that hard to figure out who you're first. Of course, if you've been following us for a while, then of course. We call him Coach J because it's just funny. You know, Good Eye, I know where that's coming from. There's only one person that could have sent me that. I don't want to, I'll say this, Good Eye. I don't want to sit there and bash anyone that's overweight. What I will say is that if you're at a weight level that's unhealthy, you got to do what you can to get the help and get back to a healthy weight level. Okay. I'm not here to fat shame people or anything. Okay. I've never been like that. Maybe in the past I slipped a time or two and said something. We've all said some, dumb shit on YouTube in the past that we regret, right? But yes, I have heard that, his woman has put on some weight, and, I really hope that she figures out, how to get healthy again for her own sake. A lot of times, when a man is with a woman and she's lost weight and is looking good and a healthy or at a healthy weight level, he's very attracted to her. And then if she gains a ton of weight, then, the man starts losing attraction for her. It happens on the flip side too. If he were to gain weight, I'm sure it would happen on the flip side. One of the reasons why I feel my ex-girlfriend Kate cheated on me is because I had gained 30 pounds back then. I was in really good shape and I gained 30 pounds. I wasn't in horrible shape, but I was a little bit pudgy and stuff. And yeah, I mean, should people be that superficial? No, but attraction is attraction. It's a must and not a choice. So yeah, I mean, for her sake, if that's, I haven't paid attention to either other channels lately, and I don't care to. They've done myself and Don wrong enough. But yeah, I hope she gets healthy if that's the case, for her own sake. I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know. I think he's miserable outside of his marriage with her. Whether, he loves her or not, I mean, I hope he does. But I think his misery stems primarily from outside of his wife. Grotesque says, I think it was possible that he would have come to her live stream had you gone on panel. Tammy's pretty good at moderating her channel, though, and I think that could have been discussed. Well, that's what you think, bro. But you got to understand, when somebody is preying, when a man is preying on a woman's vulnerabilities and, she starts to buy into that, she's more prone to do things that he says, right? And that's called abuse. And that's what I feel, maybe partially or fully happened to her. I don't know, right? What I can say is that I do feel that, she was abused in some capacity, preying on her vulnerabilities. That doesn't make you a bad person, Tammy. It doesn't make you, weak or anything. Okay. It doesn't. When anyone is wronged, male or female, I think people should stand up for those people, and that's what I'm doing here. I think Tammy was open to hearing what you had to say. It's a shame that other people were involved that caused you to have to back out of the interview. I was really looking forward to seeing what could still happen. And I've done plenty of other interviews. And the bottom line is, I even think me going on her channel initially was pushed by Coach J so he could come on there and ambush me. I don't know that for a fact, but I assumed that because anyone that Coach J's involved with, I'm nowhere in sight. Like if Coach J is spending a lot of time on a certain creator's channel, for example, any creator's channel, I won't go on that channel or panel. I won't. I will not go on any panel that I feel he'll pop on or the creator will let them pop on, whether, I agree to it or not. Grotesque says, yeah, women tend to cheat when their partner changes appearance. It happens it happens all the time. That's why I say to guys, take care of yourself, stay in decent shape, right? Senator Palacio, I understand what you are saying. However, I disagree regarding Coach J. I won't elaborate right now. Fair enough, Sandra. I'd like to hear your opinion at some time. Okay. All right. I have really good intuition. It's pretty spot on. And there are other people that feel the same way. But hey, it's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. I get it. 1Q says, I am just surprised that he's aggressive like that. He seemed nice on Rumble. No, he was pretending to be nice. He was pretending to be nice about a month ago. Because the court case was getting closer to the court case. And literally around the time where I filed for the countersuit, right? And then I served Tammy, and then the countersuit was real. Okay, at that point, he started getting more and more triggered and said a lot of things, and I was there recording it. I clipped those, and so he's making threats that he wants to stare me down or something like that in the parking lot after the case at the courthouse and call me a cuck to my face. I mean, those are all threats. I can get an RO on that. Like there's so much. I don't want to do it, and I hope I don't have to. I mean, he's here trolling, and he'll pop on in every now and then, but he's really backed off a lot lately. But the problem is the damage has been done. You see, the damage has been done. And, there are people that have been left hanging. Like Tammy, I feel he left her hanging. Right? Regardless of how I felt about the situation before Tammy and I resolved it, he left her hanging. He left her high and dry. He's the one that primarily instigated this. Yes, Tammy had a part in it. Don't get me wrong. Tammy's not saying, that she had no part in it. She's trying to say it was all her idea, but Tammy, respectfully, I'm not buying that. You're trying to be really nice. You're trying to be really nice because you don't want to cause issues with Coach Jay, and I get that. I don't blame you for that because he gets triggered very easily. And when he gets triggered, like, the dude is a scary dude. When he's triggered, like, I've never heard anyone, get as crazily triggered as Coach Jay. I used to get pretty triggered every now and then, but Coach Jay, my God, wow. Wow, that dude gets more triggered than I ever got. All right. Any final questions, folks? Because we got to get going. We're at 2 hours and 22 minutes. Wow. Much longer than I thought I would be on. Yeah. So that's it. If any of you don't want to support my channels that I run with Don here anymore because I settled with Tammy, that's on you. It was the right thing to do. Okay? I don't want to end up in an everlasting courtroom battle. And she doesn't either. And she said it again. Earlier today, she said it again, that this was made into a lot of drama content was made off of this. People were trying to push the Judge Judy thing, and, they've been trying to amp this up and this and that. And, Tammy started to really, I don't think you realized it until recently. I think you and I are reasoning with each other, being reasonable and being civil and cordial. And I respect that, Tammy. I do. Let's keep it going. I don't think you realized, that this was all for content for many people. Even probably Coach Jay too. Good Eye says, look, I don't want to say I know exactly who Good Eye is. I'll just say this. I have an idea of who Good Eye is. It's all good. At Coach Eli, Elias, Melas, I believe Coach Jay's woman comfort eats because of him. I mean, yeah, could be. I don't live in their household. I don't know what they do. I know they've talked about things that they do in their household that I would rather not know about. But yeah, probably. I feel sorry for her. She turns to food because he makes her feel depressed and lonely. She deserves better than him, in my opinion. I agree with you on that. I do. Listen. No joke, no drama, no clocking in, clocking out, none of that stuff. Wholeheartedly, I agree with that. Sandra Palacio says, maybe. Hey, Sandra, what's going on? How are things going for you out in your neck of the woods? Maybe he had a small percentage in this, but she ran with it. Let's just move on positively. No, we are. We're moving on after this, Sandra. We're done with it. Right? Anything, regarding Tammy and other people from this point on is going to be about positive, content regarding helping people. And Tammy was even saying that, she's got a lot going on, that she's probably not going to really be doing many, if any, collaborations for a while. And that's totally cool. And even if you don't ever want to collaborate, or if we don't collaborate ever or for a long time, Tammy, I'm still cool. I'm open to the future possibilities. I'm leaving the door open, right? I really respect and appreciate your reasonable civil side. I think you've always had that in you. But a lot of people, especially of late out here in the YouTube land, have screwed you over. And I get it. I get it. I've been through that. I get it. Yeah. I mean, yes, she ran with it when she started to feel that she really enjoyed it. Initially, it was one big troll. You don't need to talk about it, Tammy, unless you want to, but I know you don't. You don't have to admit that. I don't want you to admit that. I'm just saying we understand. Initially, it was one big troll that was fed to her by Coach J. And then she started to actually like the name and like the positivity aspect of it. So I genuinely believe she does like doing it. She's found it to be part of her purpose. And that's beautiful to see and hear. At Good Eye, why bring up Anna? Damn, leave her out of this. I mean, I understand, Sandra. I kind of agree with that. But at the same time, honestly, Coach J has come at my woman and come at so many people out here. You got to understand, Sandra, what you put out, you get back. And I'm not, listen, we're mature here and we're not trying to come at someone. But this guy's hurt a lot of people on this platform. He has harmed a lot of people. His wife was a part of harming my girlfriend, Dawn. I will never forgive Anna for that, ever. I won't forgive him ever because he's done a lot of crazy stuff. Now, they might go back and say, well, what did you say about Anna back in those days, with when she was with JB? Well, here's the thing. I don't believe Anna's a bad woman. I think Anna chooses the wrong men that put her in a bad position, and she does dumb shit to try to please these erratic men. That's what it is. She did the same thing with JB, right? Now, I'm sure the drama channel on the other side has the same clips I do. We've got clips so we can go back 5-6 years, right, Sarah? We can go back 5-6 years into the archives and show the JB Anna days. We're not going to do that, but we're just saying that there's a lot of stuff that these people did or behave. It's not even what they did, it's how they behave. Their public displays, getting drunk on camera, right? And doing things that could affect their livelihood publicly. Why do that dumb shit on YouTube? Protest says, I was surprised to know that Eli is internationally known and that people all throughout the world are talking about Eli. Well, come on, dude. Thank you. But I'm not internationally known, but I know to rock the microphone. Remember, it takes two to make a thing go right. It takes two to make it out of sight. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Rob Basin, DJ Easy Rock. I'm not internationally known, but I'm known to rock the microphone. That song has a lot of great bass. It takes two to make a thing go right. It takes two to make it out of sight. Yes, that's a good thing. Yeah, Sandra. I really wanted to get this off my chest. I was really, I tried to go live earlier. I mentioned this at the beginning of the show here. Almost 3 hours ago now. Damn, I got to wrap this up soon. We're at 2 hours and 30 minutes. 2 hours and 31 minutes. I was trying to go live earlier, but I had some microphone issues that I fixed, so the next walking stream will be fine. But I really wanted to get this off my chest. It's been really, the Coach J thing has been really, and I'm not saying this to give him credit or anything like that. I'm just speaking my mind. The Coach J thing has been really bothering me because he's caused a lot of these messes. Right? I do understand your point, Eli. I know. Yeah, Sandra. I mean, again, it's like Okay, here's the thing, Sandra. I'm going to wrap up by saying this and everyone else. Okay, look. It's one thing for the guy to pay kids to throw shit at me at Red Morton Park. That's not wrong. I'm sorry, that's not right. But, okay, I let it go. Fine. All right. It's another thing to try to mess with my livelihood with my former Grip on Life channel by doing all the same stuff that now happened with the Tammy situation, right? It's one thing even to enlist his wife to, get close to Dawn, prey on my girlfriend Dawn's vulnerabilities, have Dawn open up about stuff, and then use that content and clip that content and put it out all over YouTube. That was horrible, but that's something you can move on from. But to try to, go after someone's longtime business, regardless of how well the business is done or not, to try to go after someone's business and prey on the vulnerability or vulnerabilities of someone else, especially another woman, to get it done? What kind of a man is that? Again, this guy's done so much crazy shit, but the ultimate thing is this thing that happened between Tammy and I. And he has a big part in it. He had a huge part in it. Okay? He had a huge part in it. No doubt about it. And again, respectfully, Tammy, I've got your back. I'm not, Tammy, I'm not attacking you. I've got your back, even with this Coach J thing. But you don't want to say anything. I understand that because you want to try to keep peace with him. I get it. The thing is with Coach J, it doesn't matter whether you're at peace with him or not. When he goes off, he goes off. He can go off at any reason for any time. Or at any time, I mean. Final questions, comments, and concerns. We got to go off the air soon. It's 2:19 a.m. right now. Dawn and I have a 10 a.m. appointment tomorrow. All right. I hope you folks understand. I went into great detail here tonight. I'm good with everything. If I can't get Tammy's channel back within 45 days, if I feel that they're not going to do it after 30 days, even after 30 days, if I feel that they're not going to restore it, then I'll start making payments shortly after that time. One way or another, I'm going to fulfill this. And here's the thing. It's not if I fulfill this. When I fulfill this, I'm going to shove it up all the people's, you know what, that didn't think I would. And when I fulfill this, it's not going to matter. You folks are still going to try to find some reason to trash talk myself, my mother, Dawn, or whatever, right? Have you ever thought about how immature you all continue to come off as by doing this? Do you folks ever look at yourselves in the mirror and ask yourselves, how maturely am I behaving? Why am I so obsessed over trying to knock down some guy like Eli on the internet, right? You folks make it your life's mission to follow me every single day. If someone's rebroadcasting me, it doesn't matter what day of the week it is, what time it is. There are people there right now at 2:20 in the morning Pacific. If you're on the East Coast, it's 5 a.m. These people, if someone's rebroadcasting, it could be Christmas, it could be New Year's, it could be Easter. It doesn't matter. These people are really that obsessed. Where is the obsession stemming from? right? Honestly, ask yourself that. It's just really asinine. It's really just ridiculous. Do you need a dose of me in what you like to call locale style, presented by locale content creators? I'm not calling them locales. I'm saying they create locale content. They're a locale content creator, right? Do you need a locale drama instigating channel to rebroadcast a stream of a man just trying to help people and then flip his words into further making you have hatred for him? I mean, seriously. Tammy, I've had enough of this too. I'm done. I'm going back to regular content. Like tomorrow, this is all said and done. Now, if, Tammy wants to have me on a panel anytime soon, or Sarah, and we figure it out, I'm not saying it's going to be tomorrow, maybe later this week or next week. If I end up doing a panel with one of these people and it makes sense to do so, yeah, we could talk about it there. But as far as on my channels here go, this is it. And Tammy did the same thing. Now, Tammy might respond briefly tomorrow to this, and I don't care if you respond to the full thing one last time, Tammy, because I won't respond to that afterwards, because at some point we have to stop, right? But that's that. I agree with you, Tammy. It's time to move on. I'm tired of this drama. I'm tired of this content, that was made over this court case when it was a serious legal battle. That's that. With that being said, have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other.